There's an old saying, you can't go home again. When we were kids in grammar school, we went out to recess on the playground 1,000 times. We knew that playground like the proverbial back of our own hand. But if you go back as an adult, it's not the same. Even though your memory of that place is. When I saw the words that began to scroll with Force Awakens, part of my brain said, you should be feeling something right now. And I wasn't. Even though at the exact same moment I was remembering the echo of the memory of the first time I saw those words scroll across on a screen with the New Hope. The echo of the memory I have felt every time I ever saw those words scroll across the screen. Every time I've watched episodes 4 through 6. And I've seen The New Hope 6 times in the theater. I realize that's a pathetically low number for Star Wars fans. But it's the only film I've ever seen 6 times in a theater, ever. I've never seen any other film more than twice in a theater. So for me, that's a major milestone. That's 3 times more than any other film ever. And at no point in my viewing of The Force Awakens did I feel any emotional engagement at all. Now, my thoughts on this video are going to have spoilers, so be aware of that. I'm going to talk about the things I saw in the film, my thoughts on them. So if you haven't seen it or would like to completely have no information about it at all, don't watch this. It fit in my head in a certain place, and it took me a little while to figure out what that place was. As ancillary material to episodes 4 through 6. It was like an epilogue. The kind of thing you see at the end of a film, sometimes during the credits. You know, that little maybe 5-minute segment total that tells you what happened after the actual film. That's what The Force Awakens felt like to me. And it was nice, it was pretty, it was fun, it had the texture and the feel of Star Wars, it looked worn, and I like that. It looked lived in, I like that. The characters looked believable as far as their appearance. The score was nice. But it was a reboot of A New Hope. And I didn't want a reboot. I wanted a continuation. And I got a reboot. And so that left me mildly disappointed, and only mildly. I enjoyed it overall. I enjoyed that I got to see more of the universe presented to me in episodes 4 through 6, and that was really cool. I'm glad that happened. And I will go see episodes, 8 and 9. I can remember when George Lucas first released episode 4, and they were talking about 5, and his whole concept being that, they were going to do episodes 4 through 6, and then they're going to do episodes 1 through 3, and then they were going to do episodes 7 through 9, because at that point the actors would have aged long enough that they could have done the roles that he wanted them to do. They just waited a lot longer than the original plan. And I will see episode 7 again, hopefully with commentary. Something I will never say about episodes 1 through 3. I saw each of those once, and I will never, ever watch them again. But there were things about this that I guess I said it left me wanting a little more. I didn't have any problem with the character of Rey at all. I thought she was quite interesting. Someone desperately holding on to a hope and trying to survive, doing what she can. And I've heard some of the MRAs out there complaining, oh, she's a Mary Sue. She's not a Mary Sue. She's King Arthur that found the stone, the sword in the stone. She's Bruce Banner that got irradiated. She's Peter Parker that got bit by a spider. She's Hal Jordan that found the magic ring. Alright? She's Harry Potter that got the owl that arrived at her house. Alright? That's what she is. It's just that she's a feminine character that has falling into the exact same role 1,000 masculine characters in the past have. And no one said anything when the masculine characters had their magical powers just bestowed upon them for no reason. But when it's a feminine character, suddenly, oh, I'm married. Ooh, bullshit. Now, at first I was a little confused about the character of Finn. Because I thought that he was probably diverging further from the type of programming he would have been raised with. But think about it for a moment. Maybe he was always on the parameter. He was always the outlier, never quite far enough out of the programming to need to be reconditioned, but always riding that edge. He was the goofball, the clown of his unit. The comedy relief, if you will. And then he gets his first battle, he sees what reality is, and it breaks him. Now, it does make me wonder why the heck they sent a rookie out with a unit that supports Kylo Ren. You'd think that he would have only had hardcore veterans in his unit, because his unit are going to be doing things that are going to be more than just a smidge morally ambiguous. He's going to do whatever the First Order wants done. And I gotta tell you, I thought Kylo Ren outside the mask was utterly unbelievable. Utterly. I'm like, wow, that's a really unimpressive looking character. I don't know who the actor is, I never saw him before. But I was just completely underwhelmed by him. I'm like, wow, not terrifying. Put the mask back on. But of course, once I've seen Under the Mask, it's too late. I was then unimpressed by him with the rest of the film. I wasn't impressed when he murdered his father. I didn't care. I didn't care when one of the most beloved characters of episodes 4 through 6 was murdered. Didn't have any impact on me at all. The one character, in fact, that I found the most unbelievable was Poe. Because he was like this lantern-jawed 1950s era test pilot. He was a caricature of a caricature, in my opinion. Now, I don't know if that's supposed to be, hiding some personal insecurities, or is he really that gung-ho and that virtuous and that... But I found him to be the most cardboard of all the characters in the film. The one thing I would love to see, though, I would like to see when Kylo Ren finally gets his just cause, when they finally get their revenge upon him for murdering his father and leading the galaxy towards chaos once more. I want to see Leia take him out. That's not going to happen. That's what I want to see. I liked the action scenes. They were great. The fighting dog scenes, they were nice. I want to know why the bad guys keep putting all their eggs in one basket and building giant guns that shoot things. That makes no sense. And I asked years and years ago, what did the rebels think was going to happen when they killed the Emperor at the end of episode 6? Do you think all those commanders out there were just going to roll over and disappear? No, I said they're going to take over their planets and just declare themselves king. Or they're going to consolidate into some smaller version of the Republic. Or of the Empire. You know what I mean? They're just going to do what happens in the real world when governments break up. Look at the Arab Spring, what happened in Syria. That's what was going to happen. So the fact that they weren't prepared at all for this, and they were supposed to have some kind of political savvy involved, was an utter failure. I consider the New Order the illogical conclusion of what happened at the end of episode 6, and the fact that General Organa and all of her compatriots weren't ready for it, fails on you, folks. They obviously didn't read the 5 rings, now did they? Um, so I don't know. Like I said, I'll watch it again. It was nice seeing Harrison Ford. He's an endearing actor. I really like him. It was nice seeing Chewie. I didn't like the voice of C-3PO. It was wrong. Just didn't ring true. BB-8 was annoying, but he's cute. I liked the actor playing Rey. Did a great job. I liked the facial expression. I thought she emoted in the right way. I mean, MRA is also saying that she couldn't physically do what she did in the film. She deadlifts 176 pounds, which is probably far more than all the MRAs out there complaining about the actor in question. But you know, what do I know? I'm not an MRA. So it wasn't horrible. I had a good time, but I wasn't emotionally engaged. Now, I went home at the end of the day and watched The Book of Life, a film that did in fact emotionally engage me. Now, to give you an idea of films in the last year that I have really felt strongly about, The Fury Road and The Galaxy of the Guardians both hit a much stronger note with me. In fact, Guardians of the Galaxy, in my opinion, is as good as Episode 4. Not better, but as good. I really loved it, and I would love them to be able to get 2 more Guardians of the Galaxy films, so you have a trilogy that were as good or better than Episodes 4 through 6. Because admittedly, 6 was the weakest. But it was so good. And I guess between Guardians of the Galaxy and Fury Road, I had my target set pretty high, and The Force Awakens did not hit it.